Hey everybody and welcome back. So I saw some people talking about it in the group and we decided we are going to hold another mirror match tournament. Yes, Cyber Dragon mirror match. If you're new to this idea, it's a lot of fun. The very common misconception is that it's whoever goes second wins. First one to Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon wins, and any of the winners can tell you that that is not true. Any of the losers can tell you that's not true. That is not how this works. It's a lot of fun. I am going to play, hopefully get my first title. I think we have done 6 or 7 or 8 of these now. I've actually came in second 3 times and top 4'd 5 of them, I believe, and I didn't play in one of them. But so we do relatively well, but there's so much that goes into it. A little bit of luck, but player skill is a huge deciding factor in the Cyber Dragon mirror match. It's a lot of fun though. I do highly recommend to play it. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Dueling Book or on yugioh Pro yet. We'll let you guys know as soon as we do. We'll probably hold another poll. I know yugioh Pro had that more people had said they would play, but we want to actually get the biggest turnout. And Dueling Book does definitely test your knowledge and give the most real experience, so we'll see what we do. But today, we're here to talk about the Cyber Dragon mirror match and how to play it. So this is more or less, this video is more catered towards like not the mirror tournament. This is more catered towards game 2 or 3 if you're in a mirror match, or even possibly game 1 at like a regional if you run into someone in the mirror and you don't necessarily expect it. If you don't really expect it and you do just your normal things going first, you're going to be in a very bad situation, but we'll cover a few things that you can do here shortly. So first and foremost, if you know it's a mirror match, I know some people are going to ask, like, what makes me qualified to do this? I mean, nothing really makes me more qualified than anyone else. I can say that I'm probably one of the more knowledgeable people on the deck, but I'm not going to say I'm the most because we're always learning, and the mirror match tournaments actually can teach you a lot. I've learned a lot from them, from other people. So, I mean, we're always open to learning, and I hope other people are as well. But at regionals so far, regional or higher tier events, I know I'm undefeated. I think it's 7 or 8 times I've come across another Cyber Dragon player, and the common misconception of make you go first and I win is just so far from true. And if you know how to play the mirror match, it can make a big difference. So first and foremost, get to overflow. Overflow is so important in the mirror match because a well-timed overflow can make sure you don't lose, and it can make sure your opponent ends really awkwardly and possibly even has to fortress themselves, which is not something I recommend. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But forcing them to play awkwardly or not be able to win, and then you can come through and win on your follow-up turn. So overflow, getting to it is very, very strong. It is more important than getting to your infinity because there's a very good chance your infinity won't last for very long. When do you use your overflow? Well, you don't want to trigger Nova, so pretty much right before that, use your overflow right when they get 2 level 5s on the board. Some other things that you can do in the mirror match that a lot of people don't do, like if I have Imperm or Veiler, I personally hit the core. If you have dupe, you have dupe, and Dragoon makes that a little more risky because now they have an actual viable play they can do. But if you want to summon all of your cores right away, I'm okay with that because I know me personally, I don't want all 3 cores in the graveyard turn 1. Like, that's just not a good plan. It's not a good strategy. It's not going to help you win many games. Additionally, negate the Galaxy Soldier. Oh my goodness, so many people only play 2. So many people, like, when it gets the summoned on the field, negate it. Like, I always try and chain block it from Ash, but like Imperm or Veiler on it can hurt so bad because a lot of the time, especially if you only play 2, now you have a brick in the deck. Like, you just made them have a brick in the deck, you just interrupted their main play. If they don't have the dupe, they're really awkwardly like placed in a position. Like, hitting Galaxy Soldier is super underrated by people, not just in the mirror match, just overall in general. It's one of the few cards I really, really don't want to get hit because, unless you open really good more often than not, unless you're playing it, like, you're gonna just Dragoon pass at that point and have like not as good of a hand as if you planned on making Dragoon pass and save the cards in your hand. You need to use your Mega Fleet and your Fortress very wisely. So main decking, like especially too, keeping the kaiju isn't the worst thing because once they know it's a mirror match, if they're playing something like Pleiades, they'll go into that instead of Infinity because you're not going to just contact fuse it away, and they can like bounce your core when you play dupe. They can do something like that. So keeping the kaiju in is actually not the worst of ideas. And additionally, if they're playing like some wacky variant, it can obviously get rid of a problematic card. But use your Fortress and Mega Fleets, mostly Fortress, wisely. If you know it's a mirror match, do not Fortress yourself. Well, I don't want to get Fortressed by him. Yeah, that's true, but you just shouldn't put yourself in the situation where you stay vulnerable to a fortress. Obviously, or your infinity, that's gonna be a big one. You're still gonna need to make infinity a lot of time, unless you're playing dragoon. Then just use your 2 soldiers for Verde, and then save the cards in your hand for your turn. But don't fortress yourself, please, unless you're playing 3 of them. Like, don't waste it. It's too important. It's a card that you drop when you're going to push for game, when you're going to try and win. You fortress yourself. A lot of people only play one, and by playing one, like I said, if we're at a regional and game 2, it's a mirror match, and you fortress yourself going first, like, I'm gonna check that off in a win column. I'm gonna beat you 9 times out of 10. Like, don't waste fortress on yourself, guys. Um, Additionally, don't always just shotgun it. Like, don't always open up your play like, oh, fortress your board. And then, because if they stop you, now again, you wasted your fortress. The only time to use it relatively early, obviously, is to get rid of infinity. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's a solid move. Infinity, if you have infinity, basically negate the first card they activate. Like, they activate emergency, negate it. Well, they can discard to get it back. Yeah, they can, but you just made them go -1. And guess what? You don't negate that emergency, you're losing your infinity anyway. So, I mean, obviously it opens the door for them to summon like a core and actually get the effect. But otherwise, they can like search Cyber Dragon, special summon it. They can search Naxter, they can search hers, they can search Fear, they can normal summon them. And you lose your infinity without actually getting to use your negate then. So you use the negate, force them to discard a card, and well, if they discard hers, they're just going to plus that way too. Yeah, okay, let them, because now if they try to use it with Galaxy Soldier, they already used it. Like, just let them burn through their resources and their effects. Negate the first thing they do, pretty much. Where are we at? I got notes here because I knew I'd forget stuff. Burning resources. Different variations. So obviously the mirror tournament is going to come down a lot to this. Like, the trap variant is pretty good in the mirror. Synchro variant offers big spin-offs where you're not reliant on the cyber cards being on the board themselves whatsoever. The danger variant, obviously, you can make the Buster Lock super easily. Dragoon variants, pretty much everyone's probably going to be playing it because especially in the mirror tournament, like, play Dragoon, guys. Biggest advice I can give you is I'd play the Dragoon package before I play 2 Fortress. Probably going to play 2 Fortress too, but like, just to emphasize how good the Dragoon package is in the mirror, play it. Going first, you want to set up your Overflow and your Dragoon. That's way better than setting up Infinity. Save your resources. You open Core Dupe Extender, I don't care. Like, don't vomit it all out there. Don't make this huge board because I Dark Ruler you, I win. I use, like, I Kaiju your Dragoon, I win. Like, there's just ways to blow it out and just absolutely win. Like, just set up your Overflow Dragoon and save your other cards for your turn. Like, the main thing I do when I go first, and I actually chose to go first a lot in the last mirror tournament where I played my normal build, like the same exact deck I would bring to locals and play against no Cyber Dragons. That's the deck I used in the tournament just to prove that you don't need like 3 Fortress, you don't need multiples. I had 1 Fortress and main deck 2 Kaiju still, and it's like I was, Kaijuing someone's Mega Fleet just so I could contact it away. Like, that's not like an ideal play, but like, I didn't change the deck. I actually almost never sided because my side deck just wasn't for Cyber Dragons aside from Droll and Lockbird. So, like, so you want to, like I said, the different variations, Dragoon, play it. Going first, set up your Overflow, your Dragoon, saving your resources because you don't want to burn through them. You want to save them for your turn. Ideally, you want to set up your board, just don't die. If you go first, don't die. Oh, that's where we were, because we said we choose to go first. And that was pretty much the game plan. Choose to go first, set up enough to that I don't die where I have a follow-up in my hand, and then I win on my turn, because they're not going to try to not die. Like, you go second, you're going to try and win. You're going to try and OTK. You're going to try and just spit everything out and win. But that plays into my strategy, because then you leave yourself vulnerable when you can't, because I spent my turn setting it up to where I don't die. I set up where I don't die, and then you can't kill me, but you end really awkwardly, like maybe infinity if anything, and then, well, I win, because, you know, that's how I planned the match to go. I planned to not die, let you do everything you can to kill me, but it doesn't work, and then I win on my turn. So I guess that's my big advice. If you go first, just set up to don't die. Don't overextend. Don't lose your whole hand. Keep enough for a follow-up. Additionally, hand traps. Obviously, we know hand traps are good. Whether you're hitting the core, you're ashing the dupe. You chain an imperm to the dupe to force them to summon like 2 more of their smaller cyber dragons. Drone Lockbird, obviously really strong. Cypher Gamma, really strong. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. I guess hopefully this video helps a little bit. Come join the Cyber Mirror Tournament. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We might even throw a prize up, possibly. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Let us know what you thought about this video. If you learned anything, if you have tips, comments, helpful things, like, let's help each other grow. We mentioned that we're always trying to learn, and you know, if we mention something you disagree with anything, let us know and we can discuss it down below. Till next time, guys, take care.